But as someone who's worked on multiple sets with Russell Crowe, is it easier to outdrink a Welshman or an Aussie?
Oh, Welshmen are impossible because they'll go till they're dead. I mean, look at Dean Thomas.
Here he is. What's going on?
How you doing?
Oh, everything's so tickety-boo. Thank you very much for asking.
See,
how about you?
I mean, I'm delightful, and I want to say something real quick. I've seen a few of your more recent interviews. You always look sharp as hell.
Yeah, this is how I expect you to look.
You're
This
just
is
a
when I think of
sharp-looking
you.
fella.
This is the look I expect. You always come through.
Thank you very much.
Do you ever just pop on like a hoodie and sweatpants? I feel like you don't do that. No.
I can't. I have this real issue with that stuff.
Issue.
Yeah, I'm the only person in the whole world that hasn't worn sweatpants during the pandemic. Unless
You're talking to another freaking weirdo over here. When you get home at night, you're wearing jeans, you're wearing khakis, slack, I don't know, whatever you're wearing. You get home, you just keep those pants on. You don't change into some sweatpants?
Yes, because I'm not a heathen.
That's my guy, Paul. That's my guy.
I will say, coming from him with his accent sounds a lot more like, okay, I get it. Coming from you, you're a bag of shit. You should wear sweatpants too.
Okay, let's be clear about this. Men that are over 25 should not be wearing shorts ever, unless they're by a body of water or about to perform an athletic event.
That's fair. I'll give you shorts. But what about sweatpants?
Another problem is flip-flops in the city.
Oh, that's just disgusting. I mean, that's,
Men that wear flip-flops in the city, you can't.
That's just a matter of potentially life and death. I mean, you can't be doing that. That's just dangerous as it gets.
I think Paul, you and I see so eye to eye right now. It's what? I'm sorry. What'd you say?
What age are you two?
I'm 32.
I'm 35.
Okay, so you can't wear shorts.
But no, I don't have a problem with shorts. I'm with you. Shorts, I'm not wearing shorts, but sweatpants, I'm wearing every goddamn day now.
Listen to me. I'm going to talk you out of it. You're losing your look with every year that goes by.
True.
Right? This is true.
It is true.
And the only thing to do is start to dress better, so people can. That's it. Make better choices about your clothing.
Now, what if it's too late?
You've crossed the Rubicon.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Sweatpants. That's it. I'm done.
I asked him probably last week. I was like, "Yo, how you doing?" Just on a mental level. Yeah. Because there have been a lot of sweatpants flying around the office.
Wearing them right now. Wearing them right now, Paul. See, to me, I always loved sweatpants, sweatshirts, being comfortable, but I would wear regular clothes. I would just change out of them immediately. And then with the pandemic, it was like, see you fucking later, jeans. Get out of here. You're gone. Never again.
This is how do you how do you sleep at night having made
very comfortably in my sweatpants, Paul. What do you sleep in?
Well, this sounds to me, if you're wearing sweatpants every day, it sounds to me like you're going to. Somebody's going to, here's the problem. I don't want somebody to find me dead on the couch with cigarette burns in it. And I feel like sweatpants is the gateway to that ending.
It's the first step. Yep. Yeah.
I always
you're
think,
right.
like,
You're right.
What if I'm a victim of a home invasion and I'm rescued and it's on TV and stuff like that, and I come out in sweatpants? Like, I'm gonna look like an asshole. They're gonna be like, that guy should have been home invaded.
This is exactly my point. You've got to. You've got to imagine all possibilities.
I credit all this to my mother because my mother used to beat all kinds of stuff into me. Not literally, but sometimes. But she always told me you always have to wear good underwear because you never know who's gonna see it. And she enforced that by they thought I broke my neck in a hockey game, and I was stretchered off in an ambulance to the hospital. They had to cut all my equipment off me. And when they cut my equipment off, they realized that she saw that I had a hole in my boxes. And she just goes, "Oh, John Henry."
The kid's almost dead. The kid almost is paralyzed, and she's worried about the underwear. It's crazy.
So and cruel. Yes, it's cruel, but she was setting you up for a future. I bet there are no holes in your underpants now.
I inspect them every time before I put them on, like making sure there's just not a little rip at the seam. And if I do, they go right in the trash.
Of course you do.
What if I break my neck, Paul?
What if my home's invaded and I'm paralyzed, Paul? What then?
At least I look sharp going out.
100%.
Oh my God. We'll get into WandaVision and Marvel and everything in a moment. But I think I have a beef with you because I just watched the Unabomber series. Both me and my ex-wife did, and you were a little too convincing and good at that role, where I was walking away like, Ted had a couple of good points. And I was like, fuck, man, Paul, what did you do to me? But that was a great series, very interesting, and like you knocked that one out of the park.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if it were a movie, it would be stalwart detective chases madman. But when you have like 8 hours of television, you can get into the Unabomber's domestic life.
You can get into it.
That kind of gets uncomfortable when you look at all the MK Ultra stuff, and you're like, oh my gosh, what happened to this kid? But what I will tell you is this. Here's my feeling about Ted Kaczynski, because I really didn't want people to be like, guy's got a point.
Well, let me tell you.
We can't really trust what you have to say. Here's the thing. Ted Kaczynski could have blown up the national grid.
Yeah,
right? He was that smart.
Right.
He was like making bombs out of mushrooms or whatever. He was, I mean, it's amazing. But he could have blown up the national grid and not hurt anybody, but he chose to blow up like a mum and pop computer store.
Mm-hmm.
It was something about human beings, and it was something about a fury at people being able to make human connections in a way that had been taken away from him because of damage or whatever. But
he had a mom who used to tell him about his underpants. That's what he had.
Yeah, exactly. Or didn't.
Right. Maybe that was the problem. He's wearing too many sweatpants.
Ted Kaczynski's underpants during his arrest. But yeah, I think what he did was so ghastly and so personal and so so not what he could have made his point a very different way. And I actually think he just felt anger at human beings' ability to connect. And I think it's the same decision to go off and live in the woods. He was so lonely that you go to a place where, well, of course you're lonely. You're living in the middle of the woods.
Right.
And you've got holes in and you wear sweatpants. The environmentalism stuff of it, I think, was something that he believed in, but that also he was imposing and used as a reason to just tear people apart because he couldn't have what they had.
I mean, it's a little unfair to be like, why don't I have any friends? And you live alone in the middle of the woods. That's why you don't have any friends, man.
I think it was episode 7 of that one, which is the one that kind of highlights MK Ultra, which I didn't know anything about. And I was like, oh, we made him. That was kind of us, which I think is a lot how we tell American history and probably British history too, where it's just like, yeah, we're just going to say like he was a crazy guy who lived in the woods and we're going to leave out everything we had to do with it.
This is right. And actually it's the stuff of great horror, right? Is that it's like, the whole idea is you come to the city, you leave your weapons, and the city will protect you. It's got walls, but what if the monster's inside? And we're going to keep the monsters out. But what if the monsters are inside the walls? And what if we've made a monster that's already inside by mistake? That's what I thought was so compelling about the scripts that I read and why I was really interested in it.
Smart guy. This is why you're Vision. You're a smart guy. You got the brains up there, right, pal?
I've just got an accent there.
That's true too.
Americans tend to think people with British accents are smart, and
100%. All of you are at least a little bit smarter than I am.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Even if you were a busker at one point, every British busker is much smarter than I am.
I don't even need these glasses, and I'm actually from Hoboken, New Jersey.
The trip, the Marvel journey started as Jarvis, right? Just as kind of, I guess that's just voice work, right?
Yes, I got a phone call from Jon Favreau, who said, Paul, I've got this part of this computer. It's this disembodied voice of a computer that sort of lives in Tony Stark's suit. And I need somebody with no personality whatsoever. And I thought of you immediately.
Whatever Jon Favreau's, when that's the phone call that you get, whatever he says, all good, man. That's the phone call you want to be getting these days.
All right, Favors, I'm in. And then this whole journey
crazy
started, which is just long. I mean, the journey's bonkers. Turns out it's over 3 decades.
Right.
Told me that, and I was like, "What? That's true."
You're like the Tom Brady of the Marvel universe.
Yeah, you've been in a minute, man.
Tom Brady just can't quit.
Just fucking retire already, both of you, Paul Bettany and Tom Brady. Get out of my life.
I might have lost a couple of steps, but I'm still here.
Was there already part of you when Vision became Vision, where you were like, I kind of want to just keep doing the voice stuff?
Yeah, it's pretty easy doing this shit.
The voice stuff is a pretty good gig.
The voice stuff is great because they just give you a bag of cash, and it takes about 6 hours.
You know what I love about you? We've talked to other people who've done voice work, and they're like, it's characterized as easy money, and it's not. And he's like, yeah, it fucking is.
No. I felt like I was a pirate. Like, literally, I was like, robbing these people. This is ridiculous. And they're so grateful because, so they've made a movie. There might be some confusion. They do some CG. They maybe do a reshoot. If it's still confusing, you can just have Vision going, you got bad guys on your left.
Right.
And everyone's like, oh my God, that was so clever, Paul. And you go, I could do this all day. Bag of cash. And then they put me in a goddamn movie. Oh.
And you got to have the thing in your head and you're red. It's not like, it's not a walk in the park. Jesus Christ.
It was great. It was, and that is as difficult as wearing really cumbersome costumes and then getting paid a lot of money. So, not that difficult. I have been really, really blessed. I feel really lucky, and
to now have your own show is like an even larger leap where it's you're not one of how many there's 50 goddamn Avengers. You're not one of a pack anymore. You are carrying the load now. So we'll see if you really got the goods now, Paul, because you don't have a good enough track record as is. Yeah. Now it's time. Beautiful mind. Who's this guy?
That's why they kept him only in voice.
Are you happy to have the face out there now? Because Vision, you were always Vision. Now we're Vision in the past, and we get to see what Vision actually looks like.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I've grown a beard and shaved my head. I don't know about that bit yet because I'm mostly able to have all of the good bit, like the fun of the creativity of it all, and then the paycheck, and that's and then shoes, and then and nice tables at restaurants, and none of the slightly annoying bit. So I don't know about that yet because I haven't been out of my fucking house. Who's going to recognize me? My kids don't even recognize me.
What did you think about? You had to have known those first episodes dropping are very different, very unique, kind of weird, and that's got to be fun to be putting out some shit that is going to like blow people's minds. Especially, comic book stuff is pretty formulaic, or people usually know what they're going to get, and this I think is a total departure from that, where it's like something they've never seen before.
Yeah, I think that Marvel has historically taken really big swings, and they have been they've been rewarded when they do. I mean, I think it's really easy to forget what a massive risk having Jon Favreau direct Iron Man and having him direct Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, I mean,
was a real maverick idea, and it was brilliant, and they were both brilliant, and they were paid off for taking such a massive swing. And then, I mean, Ant-Man, and that, I mean, frankly, all of them, Guardians, and then reinventing Thor.
It's I feel like it gets a bad rap because it's not a bad rap. I mean, everybody loves them, but it's fun. It's not like, heavy material, and I think people almost critique that. It's like, there's still a lot of art in that, and a lot of, work, and a lot of everything else in all of acting is in these movies as well.
Yeah, and also the skill at making those movies. And anybody who's ever actually made a movie looks at those movies, and secretly they know how hard those movies are to make.
And ultimately, at the end of the day, isn't the goal to have people walking out of the theater going like, God, that was fucking awesome? Whether it's because you cried, or whether it was because you thought, or whatever you feel, like Marvel's hitting, the right part of your heart. So
yes, and also Marvel is got something to say. I mean, Civil War's about whether in this case, a group of superpowered individuals or a superpower should unilaterally be able to make decisions and go into other people's sovereign nations. And
right, it's some heavy shit. Right.
That's quite a big thing. And actually, it was really interesting going around on the tour for selling that, is that the whole rest of the world were 2/3 on when Downey would always go, who in the audience is on Cap's side? Who in the audience is on my side? Whole rest of the world, 2/3 were on Downey's side. In America, it was 2/3 on Captain America.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That checks out. That checks out.
The autonomy to be able to go into a nation. It was really, really fascinating to kind of see that they felt. Here they felt there was no need for a UN or some sort of governing body.
Yeah,
to
it's
decide
embarrassing. I don't know. Whichever word you want to put on it, I don't know.
I'm an American, man.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. What you're late. Tell me. Let me tell you something. But you were late to the party. You're showing up to the party when the cops are here, and not. It's over. I don't know. What are you thinking?
2 weeks ago, my mom missed underwear, or 3 months ago, whatever it was. She's checking in because her mom's from Canada. She's like, "Can I switch over?"
Yeah,
and you're coming onto our side.
Coming in.
Buddy,
it's crazy.
Buddy, the ship is sinking.
Yeah.
There's time to fight for the Republic, guys. You know what I mean? For 20 years, it's been incredibly generous to me, this place. And I saw that bloated demagogue being inaugurated, and I just thought, I mean, what I didn't factor in is that I should have moved to Florida to actually make it. But boy, did it feel good finally, because it's been 20 years of taxation without representation, and you know how that can feel.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I was 16 and 17. They had taken taxes out of my paycheck. I was like, "Where's my fucking ballot, son?"
And also, frankly, at some point, I think that people, if you're out of the job market, maybe you shouldn't be voting anymore. Maybe it's a young person's game, voting. I don't know. I felt like it's time to the other thing was whenever you said something on social media, you get a bunch of just super annoying, unenlightened people going, "You're not even a fucking American, man."
Well, you showed them, and I'm sure they're gonna stop now, Paul. Yeah. I'm sure the guys on social media are gonna be a lot nicer.
Why are you even on social media? Why? Like, I imagine you're doing pretty well, Paul Bettany. What's the point of being on Twitter? Like, if I have to be for my job. If I could get off social media, I probably wouldn't because I'm addicted to it at this point.
Full blown.
But if I could have at some point, kind of headed that off at the pass, that would have been pretty nice.
Well, here's the thing. There are slightly annoying things about social media, which is that at times when, say, a bunch of pituitary gland substandard. Wait, I'm not going to say that. Yeah, I'm going to say that. There are a bunch of people storming the Capitol, and you're like, I just want to get raw information right now. That can be quite amazing for that. I do think that it needs to be regulated in a way that if you were disseminating news and I can't sue you for libel, right? It's a real problem because you can just say anything. And people have this sort of weird confusion about what freedom of speech is. It doesn't mean I can just say any shit. Right?
Right. With no consequences.
Right. I could say, I think you're an idiot, but I can't say I think you're a murdering idiot, and I certainly that would be slander. And I certainly can't say he's a murdering idiot. I think a crowd should take matter into their own hands and deal with him, because that would be inciting. So people are really confused about what freedom of speech actually means, right? So, but the question is, why am I on social media? I ask myself this question so many times, and I think I'm going to be. I think I got to be done with social media.
Oh, that's the voice of a man who's not going to be done with social media. I can already hear it. If you listen, do it right now. Then delete it from your phone right now. Prove it. You're not gonna, because you're addicted. You're just like us, Paul. You and your fancy pants and your accent and your new citizenship. You're just like us on Twitter.
Yes, but I'm not wearing sweatpants when I do it.
Touche, man. Touche.
About writing a tweet when I'm wearing like grown-up pants. You know what I mean? As opposed to you who's sort of running around in pajamas all day.
I'll be honest, me on pajamas on Twitter is a better fit. Like, Twitter is an app for people in sweatpants. You shouldn't be on it. You should delete it. You should get off of Twitter. You're above it. I will give you that. Leave me in the skells.
So above it all. She's never done it. My missus is just so much classier than I am.
She's in a great show now too. I'm watching Snowpiercer. That show is unbelievable.
I love Snowpiercer.
Yeah,
isn't it? It's so. It feels so prescient or prescient. I think you say, right? It's so. It keeps. It keeps sort of delivering the stuff that you go, how did they know this was about to happen?
Right, I know. It's very poignant right now. And there are some scenes, man, with the arms and the snow and the ice that are like, holy shit, I can't believe some of the things are on that show. It's very good. Yeah, you guys are doing pretty good right now. Your household is doing pretty well right now on the TV and entertainment front.
Things are good, and I mean, despite I just want to go out and be able to, whole pandemic thing is I'd like to go out and just lick a stranger.
Sound like me on a Friday night, Paul.
Fit in with a lot of this city.
I can't remember. I think people frowned on that always. At the moment, it feels like the thing that I want to do.
You're hanging out in the wrong spots. You come with me.
Oh, man. All right, well.
What were you raised?
I was raised in Boston.
In the green swamp.
Boston.
You were raised in Boston.
Yeah. We wear pants in Boston. We're cultural.
I just love ice hockey because I can understand it.
Because it's soccer on ice.
It's soccer on. I think we should put more sports on ice, like basketball. Like, just why stop at hockey? Why did we do that? I put everything on ice. Let's try it.
It is scary though, because once you start doing things on ice, you get a bit of a higher feeling about yourself. I would liken being able to skate like having a British accent. You're like, I'm a little better than everybody.
I could see that. Because the people who step on the ice who can't skate, I mean, you're like a baby giraffe.
We got in a big fight once, or I got in a big fight once with Jay Cutler, because I said the talent gap between me and him is larger in hockey than it is in football.
He's
And
talking
like,
to a professional quarterback,
he's like, what
by
are
the
you
way.
talking about? He's like, I'm an NFL quarterback. I'm like, yeah, but I can skate and you can't. So I can do that. Like, I can throw a football. I can't throw it as far or as well as you, but I can throw a football. You can't do the
You
basic
can't even
thing in
do
my
the
sport.
basics.
And he
He
still
was so mad. He was so mad at you, and rightfully so, probably. It was great.
That's so funny. And where are you all now? Where is KFC Radio?
We're in New York. You want to come hang out?
I'd love to. I mean, you're not strangers anymore, so I'm not going to lick you or anything.
I'll tell you this much. I will put on pants for you. I will put on real pants for you if you come have a beer, Paul.
Really?
I would. For
Okay,
you, I would.
When this is all over, let's make an agreement that we're all going to meet up and have a beer together.
I'm telling you
and
I'll tell you what's going to happen. 6 months from now, I'm going to come cash in on this, and you're going to be like, fuck, I can't believe I said that. Never mind.
We're gonna go and drink some beers and eat enough cheese to host the World Gout competition.
I love it.
I'm happy you mentioned beers because in episode 2 of WandaVision, you, for a fair portion of the episode, you appear to be quite drunk. You're actually just gummed up a bit. But I was wondering if, like Leonardo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street had to be taught how to act like he was on drugs. You didn't have to be taught how to pretend to be drunk?
No.
Are you a method actor when it comes to that?
No, what am I gonna? I wasn't drunk whilst doing it, but I put enough time in to. I got sense memory of stumbling from the pub. I mean, I was raised in Britain. It's a culture.
Yeah. Well, I heard you actually
thing.
you said recently, I didn't, there was the night, I think it was after you had a poor review of a show you did with Matthew Rhys. And you said that night I tried to outdrink a Welshman, which I didn't know is a phrase. But as someone who's worked on multiple sets with Russell Crowe, is it easier to outdrink a Welshman or an Aussie?
Oh, Welshmen are impossible because they'll go till they're dead. I mean, look at Dylan Thomas. He literally drank himself to death. 2 miles away from where are you in New York right now?
Like Midtown, right by Madison Square Garden.
Oh my God, you're like a mile away from where Dylan Thomas drunk himself to death in a pub. I mean, they just don't stop it, And Matthew Rhys was a master at it in those days. Actually, he lives just across the way.
Bring him over. Bring him with the cheese and the beer. We'll all hang out.
You know what? Let's do it.
A little double date, all right?
Awesome. It'll be lovely.
I'm holding you to it.
Before we let you go, we do have one question. We just had on Anthony Mackie, Falcon, and we were talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is also coming out on Disney Plus soon. And we were discussing if what's that?
What is that? What is Falcon Winter Soldier?
You don't know what Falcon? Oh, okay. Yeah, what an actor! What an actor this guy is!
Hook, line, and sinker.
It's just so bad. I don't know why we're talking about it during my
but we asked Anthony if Cap is America's ass, what would Anthony be? And he didn't want to be anything else. He's like, no, I have the better ass. I'm America's ass. So what would Vision be? If I don't know if America claims Vision. But what if you were America's what?
Well, unlike Captain America, my ass is a fake ass. So it's actually been molded to be a perfect ass.
Which, to be fair, is actually most like America.
So
it's a perfect android ass. So I think my ass is better than both of them. But I will tell you, Anthony's ass is amazing. And I actually saw them talking together about their ass. And they decided to have a squat jumping competition. And who could jump over this thing? We were all on set somewhere. And Mackie went, I'm gonna beat you. I mean, what are you talking about? And I went, dude, to Chris, I was like, he's gonna beat you. Look at the size of his ass. He's got more muscle in his ass cheeks than I have on my entire body. He's gonna beat you. And Chris beat him.
I mean, the proof's in the pudding then. Like,
Chris was able to squat jump just from standing. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, Anthony conveniently left that part of the story
yeah,
out.
Yeah, Anthony did not mention that.
That's unfortunately the truth. But aesthetically, Anthony has an amazing.
You're very passionate about this. I like that. You're like, it's got a great ass.
I mean, if you'd seen it, you would feel passionately about it too. I mean,
Speechless.
Now, actually, since you're mentioning Chris and being on set and all that kind of stuff, he recently took the internet by storm because he's covered in tattoos, and no one knew that. Is there anyone else on Marvel, in the Marvel universe, who is completely covered in tattoos that we don't know about?
Are you inked up, Paul?
Yeah, you live in Brooklyn.
Yeah, you're a hipster. You gotta have some ink.
You got the most. You're actually. Oh, you're so Brooklyn. You got the forearm tat. You're tall. You're skinny. You are the most Brooklyn. You got the glasses on. You're well dressed.
He might be faking it. He might be faking the accent. He might actually just be a Brooklyn hipster.
Like hipster pot belly. I got everything.
The pot belly's new then, because I was watching A Beautiful Mind recently, and you were looking very svelte in that. The prodigal roommate arrives.
Pot belly comes and goes. It comes and goes when the job's over. You know, I mean, we look out of these things. I can't have a pot belly making Vision because then the jig is up.
It's a realistic android. We gave him a little skinny fat. You know, that doesn't exactly play.
I also like how I just referenced a 20-year-old movie for how you look pretty good. I was like, I don't know. I was watching a movie from 2001. You look pretty good in it. Yes, dude. It's 2021 and we're in a global pandemic. I've put on a few.
People say things like, well, you said that blah, 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 blah. You go, yeah, I said that 25 years ago. Ramblings of an adolescent moron.
Said it on the set of A Knight's Tale. You can't hold that to me.
Fucking 50, leave me alone.
By the way, on A Knight's Tale, you were talking about how but Chaucer was actually one of the first characters I fell in love with. I was like, I want to be like that. I guess it's just
great ass in those days, by the way.
Yeah. But it was, and actually, now that I think about it, I kind of did. I'm like a drunkard who talks loudly.
Honestly, you two are peas in a pod. Let me tell you.
I kind of did come the Chaucer route, but you were talking about how you were filming in the Czech Republic and how you that's where you discovered you were shallow because when they held up the signs for laugh, you were like, I'm killing it. And I couldn't possibly agree with you more. I don't care if you actually think it's funny. Just laugh.
No, because I have a hole at the bottom of my bucket that just lets water out the whole time. It needs to be filled by you even pretending to think I'm right. And then it'll be marvelous.
I was talking to my therapist the other day, and she's like, do you care if people like you? And I was like, well, of course. She's like, but what if everyone's just faking it? I was like, well, that's fine. As long as they can motherfuck me behind closed doors, I don't care. But if they're nice to my face, beautiful. I love it.
That's right. Yeah, I feel the same way. In fact, to ask you a question, how long have you been in therapy?
On and off 2 years, probably.
Okay. So you're still at the stage where you're trying to make your therapist laugh the whole time.
Oh, me too. I'm only like 4 sessions in, and I'm just like treating her like the audience, man. It's brutal.
And it doesn't stop. I've been waiting for it to stop because I've been in therapy for over 15 years, and it just doesn't stop. I still get a kick out of making her laugh. It's terrible.
It's all I say. I just use her as like a sounding board. Like I'm just trying out bits right now. Like all right, that seemed to work with her. So unhealthy.
It's great. I love it. Oh man, you're a delight, dude. Thanks so much.
Are you Irish?
Yeah.
Didn't Freud say that Irish people are the only people that therapy won't work?
We're impervious. Yeah. We are impervious to it. And I'm telling you, man.
So far, the guy knew what he was talking about.
Proving it true.
I don't want to have sex with my mom, but therapy's not going so well.
I mean, I'm 15 years in. I don't know. It's not. I'm not sure.
It hasn't helped you one bit. It hasn't changed you a shred.
That's broken.
I always say that every time I write that. I'm like, wow, that was $250 down the drain.
He's been doing it for 15 years. You're an inspiration. 15 years he's holding strong.
Shallow, no personal resources, can't exist. Laughing at my jokes. It's just awful. Give up.
Yes. Just give up. Yes. Just give up. Pack it in. Thank you, Paul.
I'm fucking 50 in May. I'm still talking about my mum. You know what I mean? It's like, what? There are kids in Syria. What? And you can't get up in the morning because what?
Oh my God. That's amazing. Ghost of Christmas Future. I love it. Man, thanks so much for the time. We really appreciate it. WandaVision out on Disney Plus. And best of luck with everything in the future, Paul.
Thank you so much, Paul. We'll see you soon.
Have a good one.
See you next time.
Bye.
I know.
If you made it this far, you
Long
watched
time.
the whole episode. You have to.
I've never watched the full episode. If you watched the full episode,
I've never watched like 10 minutes of an episode.
You really, really like us.
Or you hate us, but like have a fetish to watch us. And
Yeah.
whatever the reason is, you've made it this far. You're going to want to watch more.
You should want to watch more.
And you actually owe it to us to click the subscribe button. If you have watched that much time, you now owe us in the form of clicking the subscribe button.
That's internet currency.
And hitting the bell icon.
Yes.
I don't even know what the bell icon is, but they tell me
I
to
think
say
it sets a reminder for you. And also leave comments for what your favorite voicemail was. All kinds of that fun stuff. But you owe it to us to do it. Law. Internet law.
law.